There are places that shouldn't exist, rooms that were never meant to be found, doors that should have stayed locked forever. I learned that the hard way. When I moved into my dorm, I thought it would be like any other college experience. Cheap furniture, late-night study sessions, roommates who barely cleaned up after themselves. But then, I found the door. It was at the end of the hall, just past my room, no room number, no signs of wear, and somehow, no one else seemed to see it.
What door? Dude, there's nothing there.
I should have ignored it, should have walked away, but I couldn't. I wasn't imagining it. The door was there, and for some reason it was meant for me. So I did the one thing I should have never done. I opened it. At first it just looked like another dorm room, a bed, a desk, a chair neatly arranged, but something was off. It was too perfect, like someone had just left minutes ago, but no one ever had. And then I saw it. It was me. But it wasn't possible. The photo looked like it was taken decades ago, September 2nd, 1956. I wasn't born until 1999. I felt it then, something watching me. The room knew me. I needed to get out. The door wouldn't budge. Then I heard it, the whisper, right behind me.
You're finally back.
The door was gone, but the feeling of being watched never left me. Days turned into weeks, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the room was still there, waiting for me. I started researching the history of the dorm, trying to find any mention of the mysterious room. What I found was chilling. There were reports of students disappearing, strange noises, and sightings of a door that appeared and disappeared at will. I knew I had to go back. I had to find out the truth. I gathered my courage and returned to the hallway where I first saw the door. This time, I was prepared. I brought a flashlight, a camera, and a friend. We searched, but the door was nowhere to be found. Just as we were about to give up, the air grew cold, and there it was, the door. We opened it together, and what we saw inside was beyond imagination. The room was filled with old, dusty furniture. But it wasn't just the objects that were strange. The walls were covered in photographs. Photographs of us. Pictures from our childhood. Moments we thought were private. My friend and I exchanged horrified glances. It felt like the room was alive, watching us. We could hear faint whispers like distant echoes of our own voices. The room was a living memory, an eerie reflection of our lives. We had to document this, to prove it was real. But as we turned on the camera, the door slammed shut behind us. We were trapped. The room started to change, the walls closing in, the whispers growing louder. We had to get out, but the door was gone. Panic set in as we realized we were at the mercy of the room. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the door reappeared. We didn't hesitate. We ran for it, bursting through to the safety of the hallway. But as we looked back, the door vanished once more. Somehow, we had escaped. But the memory of that room, and what it knew about us, would haunt us forever. The room was filled with old furniture, covered in dust, but the most disturbing part was the photos on the walls. They were of us. Every moment we had spent in the dorm, captured in eerie detail. We knew we had to leave, but the door slammed shut behind us. The whispers started again, louder this time. "You shouldn't have come back." Desperation set in. We pounded on the door, shouting for help, but the walls seemed to absorb our cries. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, as if the room itself was scolding us. And then, amidst the chaos, a figure began to form in the shadows. It was a silhouette, indistinct yet unmistakably human. It moved towards us, gliding rather than walking. The whispers turned into a cacophony of voices, each one echoing our own thoughts and fears. "Why are you here? You were warned. Leave now, or never leave at all." We backed away, our eyes locked on the figure. It raised an arm pointing directly at us. The room grew colder, the air thick with an oppressive energy. We were paralyzed, unable to move, to think. The figure's eyes, glowing faintly in the dim light, seemed to bore into our souls. Just as we thought we were doomed, the figure stopped. The whispers ceased, replaced by a deafening silence. The figure slowly lowered its arm and the door creaked open behind us. We didn't waste a second. We bolted for the exit, stumbling out into the hallway. As we turned back, the figure and the door vanished, leaving only an empty wall. We never spoke of it again. But I know it's still there, waiting for its next victim. I didn't scream. I couldn't. My voice was caught in my throat. I wasn't supposed to be here. I had to leave. Now! I ran. I didn't look back. I turned back, but the door was gone.
Dude, why are you just standing there?
It wasn't a dream. Some doors were never meant to be opened, some rooms never meant to be found.